I began my life in a small town in Ireland, the second of 5 children. There are 11 months between my older sister and myself, and 13 months between my younger brother and I, followed closely by another boy and girl. It's what I like to jokingly refer to as the Irish Catholic 5-pack. When I was 6 years old, my parents took the leap of faith to move from Ireland to Zambia, Africa, when an opportunity arose in the civil engineering world for my dad. I can only imagine the enormity of that decision. They were uprooting not only themselves, but also 5 children, the youngest of whom was 8 months old. They were moving not only a city or state away, but an entire continent. As a child and later as a young adult, I never realized or thought too much about the sacrifice and courage it must have taken to move away from our small, close-knit Irish community and out into the unknown. My dad had immediate benefits job-wise. But what about my mother? What can it have been like to step onto foreign soil with 5 young children and make a home and life there? She was the one holding down the fort while my dad traveled a majority of the time. She'd also left behind her mother, my grandmother, which must have been devastatingly difficult for both of them. Was she scared? Was she lonely? Was she overwhelmed? If she was, none of us ever really knew it at the time. She'd left behind lifelong friends and community and walked into a completely new culture and future, a future that would change the very outline of what would predictably have been our life had we remained behind. I remember asking my mother on occasion how she had managed to do it all back then. I wondered how hard it must have been having 5 children so close in age, without any support. I still remember her reply being that she didn't really have time to think about it. She just got on with it and did it, because that's what mothers do. I inherited my parents' adventurous spirit and found myself traveling around the world after I completed college. Ironically, I would eventually move my life to America to get married, starting over once again in an unfamiliar culture, moving away from my own mother. In retrospect, I reflect with great admiration and appreciation for how my mother just did it when faced with many moves, at least 6 cities and 2 countries over the years. There must have been so many challenges and hardships that we were unaware of as children, all of which ensured us a better life. 18 years in the parenting trenches later, I find myself reflecting on how motherhood has changed and evolved, yet essentially remained the same. We now live in a world of instant information where every facet of motherhood is delved into and analyzed and argued over, where mothers fight with each other over how we should raise our children and judge one another in public venues and forums. Somehow, the earlier era of parenting on your own terms, without judgment, however imperfectly, had a simplicity and freedom to it. Less can be more. On the opposite end of the spectrum, despite an overload of information that overwhelms us at times, the door is also open to discuss the messiness that real motherhood is. The struggles, the challenges, and the fears, which several generations ago would have been unheard of. My children are my life, but I wouldn't be honest if I said that mothering them has been an easy journey. It's been filled with inexpressible joy and amazement, but also moments of intense worry and fear, and at times despair. Motherhood has been my witness through an indescribably dark period of postpartum depression that brought with it intense guilt and grief, juxtaposed with having to reach down deep inside and find the courage to climb out of the darkness, simply because I was a mother and needed to be there for them. When my husband left, I was no longer a wife, but I was still a mother. That gave me the strength to put one foot in front of the other as I navigated my own loss and grief, but kept me moving forward because they needed me to. Motherhood has changed me organically and irreparably. It's in the beat of my heart and the heat of my breath. It's brought me to my knees and lifted me to incredible heights. It's taught me that without self-care, there is no one else left to do the caring. This is probably the hardest of all the lessons that have been brought to me over the years. Motherhood is watching my beautiful 18-year-old daughter get ready to go out into the world alone for the first time, strong and determined as well as stubborn and feisty. She and I lock horns daily. It's the heart that is saying no, saying yes, the heart of letting go and holding on, knowing instinctively that she'll make an impact on the world out there, with or without me. Motherhood is the joy in seeing the wide smile of my 13-year-old son, who, despite his messy habits and the ability to talk his way out of anything like a veteran attorney, has the biggest, kindest heart of anyone I know, is compassionate to a fault, and doesn't care who knows it. He brings sunshine into a room, and on days when I just don't want to, he motivates me to keep moving. It's in the monotony of doing laundry, making meals, and cleaning up in endless cycles. It's in the constant worry, the nagging doubts. It's in the constant driving, the games, the practices, the showing up. It's in the moments of fear, the moments of faith. It shows its face in the early morning chaos and the quiet of the night. It's present in the going on, the showing up, despite those days of wanting to give up, because you can't. It's not what mothers do. If my children ever ask me how I did it, one day in the far-off future, I'll tell them my own truth, that they are the best thing that ever happened to me, that becoming a mother took the ordinary that was my life and created it into something extraordinary, that nothing easy ever left behind something as precious as something so challenging could. Them. That's what I'll tell them. Them.